Right now, live at 5, across the region, a number of incidents involving law enforcement. In Chisholm this morning, a fatal officer-involved shooting occurred following a number of police departments searching for a suspect. In Duluth, what started as a welfare check turned into a neighborhood street being barricaded by police. And across the state of Minnesota, bomb threats to school districts including Cloquet and International Falls.
You're watching Live at 5 on Live Local CBS 3.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Kristen Vaki. Briggs is on assignment tonight. A nearly 4-hour-long standoff that took place in Duluth's East Hillside neighborhood today has ended. We are awaiting an update from police in the next few minutes. What we know right now is an armored vehicle and armed officers were stationed outside a home this afternoon. They say a suspect inside was having a mental health crisis and was armed. The incident started with a welfare check at a home in Hermantown late this morning. Then around 12:15, Duluth police received a call about a male experiencing mental health issues at a home near North 8th Avenue East and East 12th Street near Myers-Wilkins Elementary. DPD had reason to believe the man had a weapon. Armed officers, an armored vehicle, a robot, and a drone were all used to secure and scope out the situation. The scene was cleared at 3:45 this afternoon, and officials say there is no threat to the public. We will provide you an update on what we learn at that news conference later in the show. On the Iron Range, a person is dead and an investigation is underway after an officer-involved shooting. It happened early this morning near the 200 block of Central Avenue South in Chisholm. That's where we find CBS 3's Rob Coles. Rob, you've been out there for all day long today, really following this situation. What can you tell us?
Well, Kristen, you can see it's still a very active scene. If you look behind me, you can see the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is here. They'll be the ones that are tasked with investigating, looking into this further, and answering many of the unanswered questions. But here's what we know so far. Around 4:45 this morning, police from several Iron Range departments were searching for a suspect connected to a previous crime in Morrison County. Several hours later at 7:15, they located a vehicle they were searching for here on Central Avenue. At that time, it was unoccupied. Eventually, officers made contact with the suspect they were searching for, and at some point during that exchange, at least one officer fired their weapon. The suspect died on the scene despite life-saving measures. No law enforcement were hurt. Harry Kirkpatrick lives nearby. He's not used to seeing this kind of police activity in his neighborhood.
It's a little scary. You know, can I just move my girlfriend up from the cities because of the trouble down there? And it's like, and then I move them up here, and then right across the street, that happened.
So far, neither the person who died or any law enforcement involved have been identified. There are also other big questions, including if the person who died was armed or what crime they were suspected of in Morrison County. We also don't know what led law enforcement to fire their weapon or what department they worked for. And now the BCA is tasked with leading this investigation. They'll be the ones that look into whether there was body cameras or squad cameras that recorded the incident. It is a developing situation, so we will bring more information as it becomes available.
Rob, were there any wider security measures in Chisholm as a result of this incident?
Well, we spoke to the superintendent of schools here, who said there was a short period of lockdown, about 20 minutes of schools this morning.
All right, CBS 3's Rob Coles in Chisholm for us tonight. Thank you, Rob. Key witnesses took the stand today in a Duluth police officer's trial, including the man who Officer Tyler Liebfried shot when he fired through a closed door. Liebfried faces a felony dangerous weapons charge, specifically intentionally firing a gun, endangering safety. If convicted in this September 2020 incident, he faces a maximum sentence of 3.5 years in prison. CBS 3's Quinn Gorham was in the courtroom for us again today, where we learned a lot from that testimony.
Jared File, the man Liebfried shot in the shoulder, was one of the first to take the stand today. Authorities were responding to his downtown apartment on a domestic violence call when the shooting happened. File says his now ex-girlfriend had stormed out of the apartment that night after an argument. File, unaware at the time that police had been called, says he kicked the door shut and forced it shut so he could lock it after she left. But authorities questioned that today, asking File if he actually used the butt end of a hatchet found in his apartment to bang on the door. File says he didn't remember using that hatchet, but admitted he may have, since it was something he typically kept by the door. The other officer who responded to the call, Corey Linsholm, also testified this morning. He reports being nearly certain at the time that those loud bangs apparently made from inside File's apartment were gunshots. Immediately after hearing those bangs, Linsholm said he felt like his and Liebfried's lives were in danger. When asked why he didn't fire his weapon, Linsholm said he, A, didn't know what was behind the door, and B, saw his partner was, quote, downrange. Tonight at 6, we'll cover the second half of today's testimony when Chief Mike Tuskin took the stand, who spoke about the department's policy and training on this kind of force.
All right, thank you, Quinn. Several schools in the Northland were evacuated today amid bomb threats. In Cloquet, police say the high school received a recorded call this morning. The threat was identical to the one called into ESCO schools about a month ago and was similar to threats called into other schools around the state today. Police and a bomb-sniffing dog combed the Cloquet High School and didn't find anything. Students were let back in around 2 p.m. All after-school activities are canceled. Little Fork, Big Falls schools and International Falls High School also had a threat called into their buildings. Students were evacuated in both districts. Police have not found anything there either. UMD is a step closer to choosing its next leader. A search committee picked 4 finalists for the university's chancellor position. Next week, those candidates will visit for interviews. The finalists haven't been publicly named, but the university plans to share more information about each one online the day before their interview. You can watch recordings of those interviews on UMD's website. The university also wants you to submit questions for the candidates and give your feedback. You can learn how on our website. UMD's current chancellor, Lenley Black, announced his retirement last year. He was with the university for 12 years. Dave joins us now for a quick look at the weather, where there is also a lot going on today.
Yeah, a good portion of our region is facing severe weather, and so let's shift our attention to northern Minnesota, where, as we saw with Rob Coles, there's snow coming down in Chisholm. And that snow has triggered a winter weather advisory in effect for the inland parts of northern Minnesota till 7 o'clock tonight. About 2 to 4 inches of snow could fall there, making the roads a bit slippery. Winter storm warning will stay in effect for southern Cook County thanks to lake influence all the way until 10 o'clock. And folks there might manage 5 to 9 inches of snow. The rest of the region, from the Twin Ports through northern Wisconsin into the UP, is looking at a good soaker as far as the rain goes. Now let's talk about road conditions. For northern Minnesota, they have been knocked down because of the snow. And right to Duluth's doorstep here, we do have slippery spots to watch out for, and that includes up Highway 61, over towards the Ely area, the Mesabi Iron Range, and the roads approaching International Falls. Do travel cautiously, at least through tomorrow morning. Well, tomorrow morning will turn into a nicer day. I think it'll start off cloudy, but we could make for some partial sunshine Thursday afternoon. So tonight, 60% chance for more rain, snow around your neck of the woods. Low temps just around the freezing mark. Tomorrow's high temp of 45. That is still about 6 degrees cooler than normal. I think we'll go towards normal, maybe even beat it for the weekend, but that in turn could trigger a round of showers and thunderstorms, which we'll talk about with the main weather forecast coming up in just a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Dave. Still to come on Live at 5, there's only a few days left to participate in a fundraiser for a local animal shelter. Details as we take you around the Northland next.
Keep your home's exterior beautifully protected with 11% off everything at Menards. Cedar Creek Vinyl Siding is low maintenance and comes in 16 colors, ready to install. Get 11% off all Cedar Creek Vinyl Siding. Revive and restore your roof with Seal Best White Elastomeric Roof Coatings. The reflective coatings lower interior temperatures and improve energy savings up to 35%. All Seal Best coatings are 11% off now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
It's easy to think that all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different how? You saw high commission investment products, right?
Nope, Fisher avoids them.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Never at Fisher Investments.
Okay, then you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No. We structure our fees so we do better when clients do better. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
UCare, we've been all around Minnesota, and some of the people we meet are looking into Medicare options for the first time. Well, UCare Medicare Advantage plans are a great place to start. Most plans include Part D prescription drug coverage, come with a lot of extras, and are now 5-star rated based on member experience and satisfaction. And not to toot our own horns, bells, but we're good at simplifying Medicare if you're ever feeling stuck. UCare, people-powered health plans.
Dan Hicks with Paul Azinger, welcoming you back to the Healthy Stand Classic.
You couldn't ask for better conditions. 68 degrees and a UV index of 3.
This direct exposure to midday sun could be increasing her risk to melanoma.
It looks like she's making a change.
Now let's see what she takes out.
Oh, wow, looks like she's pulling out a 15.
I don't know, looks like she's going with a 30.
Strong choice.
Incredible.
Stand Up to Cancer and Optum want to help you reduce your risk for cancer. Visit takeahealthystand.org.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Welcome back to the CBS 3 News Live at 5. Here's a live look from Silver Bay. You can see the snow flying as today's system makes its way across northern Minnesota. And Dave will be in with more on this system and your full forecast in a few minutes, including when more rain could be on its way. But first, let's take a look around the region. Spring utility maintenance in Ironwood and an annual fundraiser for the Vail Fire Department this weekend. All of that and more as we take you around the Northland, city by city. We start in Superior tonight, where a local fundraiser only has a few days left. The Paws for Love auction is the largest Humane Society of Douglas County fundraiser of the year. As we previously reported, the event started April 16th, and those hoping to participate only have until this Sunday. The shelter has more than 250 items up for auction with a goal of raising $35,000. All proceeds from the event help them save all the lost, homeless, and abandoned animals that come through their doors. Next, we head to Ironwood, Michigan, where they are preparing residents for some spring maintenance. Beginning Sunday, May 8th, the city will begin flushing all water mains across the city. They expect to be done by the following Friday. Residents may see discoloration or a change in water pressure during that time. Different sections of the city will be flushed each day. Residents will then be asked to run their water until it returns to clear. We will have more details on the spring flushing on our website. And we'll wrap up in Vail, Minnesota tonight with a fundraiser for their local fire department. This Sunday is their annual spaghetti feed. The meal will be served beginning at 11 a.m. and will run through dinner at 6 p.m. The event will be held at the Vail Town Hall with tickets available at the door for $10 a piece. Takeout options are also available. If there's something going on in your neighborhood that you think we should know about, send us an email and it might be featured as we go around the Northland, city by city. Still to come on Live at 5 today, Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers announced the state's first clean energy plan. What he had to say.
And I've got to say the normal temperature is 51 degrees, but today we only made 38. That was enough cool to create the snow. We will warm back up towards normal by the weekend, but a clash of cool from the north and warm to the south could create thunderstorms, even though we still have snow on the ground, or likely will once we get towards the weekend. I'll show you that whole 7-day forecast in more detail right after the break.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Spring is here, and we have all your cycling needs covered. Need folding tires, shorts, parts, or helmets? We have them. Want an e-bike? We have those too. Need a shock repair? We can do it. Stop into Twin Ports Cyclery today. At the DTA, we're making your bus ride even safer. You can now buy your ticket anytime, anywhere, using the new MyDTA app for mobile fare payment and trip planning. Contactless, safe, convenient.
Being isolated and lonely can be harmful to your health, resulting in high blood pressure, a greater risk of heart disease, and early onset dementia. So it's important to build and maintain social connections. Try a new hobby, volunteer, exercise, or use your phone or other device to stay in touch. Visit connecttoeffect.org to find resources and ways to stay connected. This message is brought to you by United Healthcare and AARP Foundation.
When it comes to sports, there's one guy who's dunking on the competition. For all your local sports, Duncan Goldberg, evenings on live local CBS 3.
A lot of people think, well, I'll wait until May and get my bike repaired, and we're saying bring it in early. We have a full repair staff. You'll get the bike back quickly, so you'll have the bike when you want to start riding.
The bird flu hasn't reached the Northland quite yet, but coming up tonight, we talk to experts about the symptoms of this virus.
In Chisholm, an investigation is underway after an officer-involved shooting early this morning.
Tonight at 6 on CBS 3. Stay connected to live local CBS 3. Check out our exclusive content on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as our mobile app, and join the conversation on today's big stories. Now, the CBS 3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Well, the rain began today a little bit later than I expected, at least for the Twin Ports, up around the Iron Ranges. That's where it struck first. And snow totals haven't filtered in yet, except for a couple of coming in saying about 2 inches or so in places like Hibbing and Chisholm. But the rain numbers have been coming in, and so we started with rain, and we've been doing fairly well with rain. Almost a ½ inch in International Falls, 1/3 of an inch in Hibbing. Twin Ports getting close to 1/4 and starting to filter into Wisconsin and Michigan as well. As far as drought goes, of course, we were at D3 extreme drought last fall. Now, thanks to all the precip this winter, much of our area is either out of the drought or D0 abnormally dry. That's for the Iron Range. So this precip is handy, and we're going to be getting more over the next couple of days and through the weekend. And all that precip now today has been creating a foggy sky, and you can see that here on our live picture. It's all nice and gray thanks to thick clouds and fog here near the surface. Right now at the airport in Duluth, current temp is 36, and the precip is coming down, a mixture of rain and snow. Southerly wind 7 miles per hour, relative humidity 93%, and that's aiding and abetting the fog that's happening for some parts of our region, especially closer to the shores of Lake Superior. Current temperatures are cooler than normal, and just like the past several days, even weeks, we have a lot of 30s to talk about in northern Minnesota. We get as warm as 43 down towards Moose Lake, but that's one of our hot spots. It's cooler than normal also in Wisconsin and in the Upper Peninsula. UP numbers are going 42 to 45. Wisconsin numbers are ranging as cool as 34 in Superior to as warm as 43 towards Ashland and Odana, and probably Washburn as well. Well, let's get into the Doppler map. And as our big, clumsy, occluded low-pressure system works through the area here, we can see that northern Minnesota is getting snow at the moment. Much of the rest of the region is getting rain, and there's a bit of a mix running along the North Shore, especially for southern Cook County, where folks there face a winter storm warning till 10 o'clock tonight. Much of the rest of inland Minnesota north of Duluth looking at a winter weather advisory until 7 o'clock, and the rain could affect the rest of us here through maybe 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. How much could come down? Here we go then. Much of northern Minnesota looking at about 2 to 4 inches. Cook County, 5 to 9 possible, especially along the South Shore. East central Minnesota, head of the lakes, traced to 1 inch. And then the rest of us, Wisconsin and the UP and towards southern Minnesota, just straight up rain. A good soaker, though, to help fight off those problems with the drought. So our occluded low will be leaving as we get towards tomorrow morning, and will be grazed by a high pressure system just missing our area. So we may not get a lot of sunshine for our Thursday, maybe just partial sunshine. And then as early as Friday, the next low comes to town, clouds us back up again, and brings us upwards of an 80% chance of another soaking rain. But probably rain this time around rather than snow. Tonight in Minnesota, look for the low temps to go into the low 30s. With a 60% chance for a rain-snow mix continuing. 60% chance for rain continuing in Michigan and Wisconsin. Looking at tomorrow's forecast, partly sunny for Wisconsin and the UP with highs from 45 to 51. So Hayward just might return to normal, maybe only for a day. Minnesota high temps will go from about 40 up north to 49 down south. Partial sunshine, which gives way to more clouds, as we mentioned on Friday, and a 40% rain chance begins. That turns to an 80% chance for showers, even thunderstorms on Saturday, Kristen, devolving to a chance for some sprinkles on Sunday. 50s in during the weekend here, close to normal. We already tumbled back towards 40 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but at least we're rewarded with sunshine, which is something we haven't had much of in a while.
That is true, and that rain will sure take a toll on what snow we do have at this point.
Yeah, that's helpful too. I'm ready to park the snowmobile and bring out the bike.
I agree. Thanks, Dave. Groups hoping to legalize marijuana in Wisconsin made their case during a groundbreaking hearing at the state capitol today. The legislative committee holding the public hearing heard from people hoping to legalize medical marijuana, recreational marijuana, or both. That marked the first time any bill softening Wisconsin's cannabis laws has had a hearing. Frustrated marijuana legalization proponents have watched all 4 of Wisconsin's neighboring states loosen their laws. Michigan allows both medical and recreational use. In Minnesota, only medical marijuana is legal right now, but there have been bills proposed to change that. Wisconsin's governor announced the state's first clean energy plan, along with a promise to lower energy bills and create thousands of jobs. Governor Tony Evers' plan also outlines strategies to reduce reliance on out-of-state energy sources and create more than 40,000 jobs by the year 2030. Evers says this will help Wisconsin cut half of all greenhouse gas emissions by the end of the decade. He also has a goal to generate carbon-free electricity by 2050. While we try to put winter behind us, MnDOT is staying creative with their snow plows while also honoring indigenous culture. This is the state's newest named truck, Giwaden, which is the Ojibwe word for the north wind. The plow is stationed in Pike Lake, responsible for clearing Highway 33 between Highway 2 and 53. That stretch is right near the Fond du Lac Reservation. The Duluth District staff decided to name the truck, making it the 17th named plow in MnDOT's fleet. It's that time of the show where we get to talk about adoptable pets, and today's pet comes to us from Animal Allies here in Duluth. This is Galumba. She is 4 years old and looking for a laid-back home. Our friends at the shelter tell us she is a little shy at first, but once she's comfortable, she loves to play and snuggle up with her people. She's most happy curled up in a nice comfy bed like you can see here. If you'd like to set up an appointment to adopt Galumba, then you can call the number on your screen. Still to come, from a war-torn landscape to a 15th century castle, the unique story of a group of refugees from Ukraine who made it to Ireland.
Synergy, combining your vision and our design expertise to craft the perfect window treatments. Discover what we can create together. Bellinger, draperies, shades, and blinds. Shades above the rest.
I'm Dr. Kelly McKinnon. I'm a primary care physician here at St. Luke's Miller Creek Medical Clinic. I love medicine because it combines the 2 passions in my life for basic science and caring for people. Being a family doctor, I can combine those and live my dream job every day. I chose to practice here at St. Luke's because of the culture here, the way that we treat our patients, and also the way that we treat our colleagues here is the way that people really should be treated.
Link RV is proud to provide our customers with the largest RV service facility in northern Wisconsin. With an enormous parts and accessories department and technicians with over 100 years of combined RV service experience, we'll keep you camping all season long. Link RV, where reputation is everything.
With Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Don't worry, help is on the way.
With any of Life Alert's 3 emergency systems, help can be summoned immediately, and batteries never need charging.
I was having a stroke, and I was scared to death.
If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today. Life Alert is a lifesaver.
My husband is alive because of Life Alert.
Life Alert is the lifesaver to keep me out of assisted living.
Life Alert saves a life every 11 minutes.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-344-6363. That's 1-800-344-6363. Call now. 1-800-344-6363.
There's a feeling you get when old meets new, the past meets the future. It's not comfortable, but feels good. Duluth Pack, since 1882.
Here at Nicolay Law, we've been really fortunate to have people that have worked here for over a decade, to have people that are friends, to people that are family members, and that transfers over to a unique law firm, a law firm that wins for our clients because of that unique relationship, that connection, that dedication, that watching each other's back, and that everyone here wants to help each other, and more importantly, wants to help each other's clients.
Get local, award-winning injury lawyers. Get Nicolay.
Synergy. To us, it's the definition of what's behind the curtain. Discover what we can create together. Bellinger Draperies, Shades, and Blinds. Shades above the rest.
Right now, breaking news about today's armed standoff in Duluth's East Hillside neighborhood. We now know 5 bodies were found inside a home there. At a press conference that wrapped up just moments ago, Duluth police say they discovered 5 people deceased, the suspect in this afternoon's standoff being among them. The home where the bodies were found was on the 700 block of West 12th Street. We know police first responded to that scene after a welfare check call. No names or further information was provided at this time. We don't know how the people involved died. This is a developing story, one we will continue tracking. We'll have much more on this tonight at 6 and 10 when our reporter joins us live with the latest details. For a group of Ukrainian refugees who've arrived in Ireland, the long trip to safety has also been a trip back in time. Riley Carlson has the story.
A world away from war-torn Ukraine, these families never expected this.
I never thought that someday I will live in Castle.
A 15th century tower near Ireland's west coast is now home to 11 refugees. The owner was so struck by the images of people fleeing, he had to help.
So the castle has been empty, and because of COVID and things like that, it's been very difficult to come here. So. And plus there's more space.
Not only offering them a place to stay, but flying to Poland to meet them and bring them back.
We weren't sure what we were doing and just trying to make things better for them.
The children all play together and go to school together. The families cook and eat together. 5 of them have already found jobs.
Irish people very friendly, very kind. All people want to help us.
Help that makes having a safe place to stay feel a little like a fairy tale during very difficult times. Riley Carlson, CBS News, London.
23,000 Ukrainians have arrived in Ireland so far, but the government expects that number could quadruple.
Coming up on this busy news day, the abortion rights battle that's heating up as nearly 24 states ban or restrict access to abortion. We meet a doctor who commutes hundreds of miles to help women. That and all the day's headlines on the CBS Evening News.
CBS 3 closed captioning is brought to you by Essentia Health Pharmacies, keeping things safe, simple, and convenient through mail, local delivery, drive-through, and curbside pickup services.
More Americans are growing their own vegetables than ever before. At Garden Mats, we're here to help people supplement their food supply with fresh, organic vegetables. Whether you are a beginner, novice, or master gardener, Garden Mats make gardening a breeze. Spend your summers trying to keep up with each other, not your weeds. Go to gardenmats.com and plan your garden today.
It seems like everyone has an idea on how to spend Minnesota's $9 billion surplus.
But as educators, we know that one voice needs to be heard above all others. Students. And yet, after decades of underfunding, they're the ones who have suffered the most. Increased class sizes,
diminishing mental health support,
and cuts to vital programs.
The time is now. Use your voice, Minnesota.
Tell your legislators to fully fund our schools.
A Ford built for you, by you.
Get yours, built from the ground up with your choice of colors, wheels, and other available features specifically designed for your Ford. Want a head-up display and escape, 7 GOAT modes in Bronco Sport, or best in its class gas torque and Ranger? You got it. And now an additional $1,500 bonus cash on top of all public offers. See your dealer for a Ford built for you, by you. Your Northland Ford dealers thank you for making Ford the best-selling brand in the Twin Cities region.
Blue Rock Grill features a seasonally rotating cocktail list as well as an extensive selection of sought-after spirits. Whether you're seeking a quick sandwich for lunch, a nap and a cocktail, or the perfect night out with friends, choose Blue Rock Grill, located next to the Miller Hill Mall.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
As we mentioned moments ago, we now know more about today's armed standoff in Duluth's East Hillside neighborhood. We now know 5 bodies were found inside a home there. At a press conference that wrapped up just moments ago, Duluth police say they discovered 5 people deceased, the suspect in this afternoon standoff being among them. The home where the bodies were found was on the 700 block of East 12th Street. And we'll have much more on this coming up on the CBS 3 News at 6 and 10. That's your news at 5. The CBS Evening News is next.